Testing 1, 2, 3, testing.
Welcome to the Goodyear City Council meeting. We're excited to have you be a part of this important public process. Tonight, you will have the opportunity to address City Council on both non-agenda and agenda items. The agendas and the speaker request cards are located on the tables outside of council chambers. You must fill out a speaker card in order to address the City Council. Please hand in your completed card to the City Clerk before the start of the meeting. If the meeting has already begun, please hand it to any city staff. You may also check the I do not wish to speak option on the card. This allows you to still voice your opinion on an item on the record without having to speak. Public comment on a non-agenda item will take place during the citizen comment portion of the evening. These are items that don't appear on tonight's formal agenda. The City Clerk will call your name when it's time for you to speak. At that time, please approach the podium and state your name for the record. We ask that you speak clearly into the microphone. You'll have a maximum of 3 minutes, and there is a timer visible from the podium. When the light changes from green to yellow, your time is coming to an end. When the light turns red, your time is up. Note that you may also choose not to speak if other speakers before you have said what you wanted to say. Shouting, cheering, and loud noises will not be tolerated, and violators may be removed for disrupting the meeting. Goodyear City Council meetings stream live on Facebook and YouTube, and online at goodyearaz.gov. Thank you for your participation in tonight's meeting.
I'd like to call to order, the October 4th, 2021 regular meeting. Please join me in the Pledge and Allegiance and invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I think this keeps going. Yeah. Heavenly Father, thank you for all the blessings you have bestowed upon our city. Father, we declare that the people of our city are flourishing, and we know your blessings allow us to build upon good news and victories of the past. We ask for your guidance in meeting the new challenges and opportunities for our city as responsible and trustworthy stewards. Please fill our hearts and minds with intentional, sound decision. Continue to strengthen our bridge of communications with our community, uniting us as one and causing us to prosper as a community, showing respect and value for all. We ask a special prayer for our committed staff as they're tirelessly continue to serve alongside council and, of course, the mayor. We ask for your blanket of protection for our police and fire personnel and the men and women of the armed forces serving throughout our world. In your name, amen.
Amen.
You have to pardon me, but I have to carry this for my hearing aids, and so you're seeing me have a little bit of trouble tonight in the coordination here. So let me try again to get this meeting started. All right. Councilman Loretano will not be here this evening, so we need a motion, a second to excuse her. Do I hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
I heard a motion by Councilman Stiff and a second by Councilman Pizzillo. Let's vote on that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We have one communication item tonight, and for this item, I will read the proclamation recognizing October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So Myrna Moon, Myra Moon, Executive Director of the New Life Center, will come forward. Would you come forward while I read this? Thank you. October 2021, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Whereas October is recognized nationally as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, the City of Goodyear is committed to ending domestic violence and supporting numerous victims who are among us. Whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month provides an opportunity to educate the public on the seriousness of domestic violence and the prevalence of this epidemic in our lives. And whereas domestic violence is a pattern of behavior in any intimate relationship whereby one partner seeks to gain or maintain power and control over one another. Abuse includes any behaviors that frighten, intimidate, terrorize, manipulate, hurt, humiliate, blame, injure, and wound someone. Whereas domestic violence can happen to anyone of any race, age, sexual orientation, religion, and gender. It can happen with couples who are married, living together, or dating. Whereas abusers come from all walks of life, domestic violence affects people of all socioeconomic backgrounds and education levels. Whereas everyone has the right to live free from domestic violence, according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. 1 in 4 women, say that again, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 10 men were victims of contact sexual violence, physical violence, and stalking by an intimate partner. Whereas 90% of the children who live in the homes in which domestic violence will see and hear that abuse. Children as young as toddlers can suffer from a long-term effect of trauma and expose the abuse and from exposure to the abuse. Whereas preventing domestic violence is a community responsibility. I'm going to repeat that one. Preventing a domestic violence is a community responsibility. And finding solutions depends on the involvement among people throughout our society, including city officials, residents, schools, and churches. Now there be it resolved that I, Georgia Lord, Mayor of the City of Goodyear, Arizona, do proclaim 2021 the Domestic Violence Awareness Month and urge all citizens to become more aware of how they can prevent domestic violence by building communities where individuals flourish in a safe and nurturing environment, and by working together to eliminate the domestic violence in our community. Given under my hand in these free United States, the City of Goodyear, on the 4th day of October 2021, to which I have caused the seal of the City of Goodyear to be affixed and have made the proclamation public. Congratulations. So someone's going to hand her that proclamation. We can't tell you how pleased we are, and the council will talk with you. Would you like to say something before why don't you go ahead and speak?
Yeah, I would like to just speak and say thank you. Mayor Lord and council members, New Life Center is turning 30 this year, and it is because of our community that we are thriving and stronger than ever. Without the City of Goodyear, without our chiefs of police and fire, we would not be leaders in combating and responding to domestic and sexual violence. In 2020, we served 1,200 women, children, and men, and have expanded to providing services for not only domestic violence, sexual violence, and human trafficking. I was just telling John Rader, most excitingly, we are now also serving pets. We also understand that Families now represent not only the humans, but the four-legged animals, and we know that that is a huge barrier to responding and getting supports. So now our little dogs are coming into our casitas and able to stay with their families safe from violence for up to 20 days. So again, I just want to say thank you. I usually don't talk, but this is an incredible moment for us. I have not been in the agency for 30 years, but you guys have been a huge pillar in making us a successful agency. So thank you so much.
Just today, they're going to ask council to make some remarks, and especially since you've been with this council for quite some time, I think all of you can appreciate this. Councilman Stiff?
Just, you're going to hear thank you, I'm sure, 6 other times, but, and I think I've said it the last time we did this, I wish we wouldn't have to, but I'm very thankful for the work that you and the New Life Center are doing, not only for the victims, but just for our community at large. And please keep up the good work and continue to let us know what we can do to support you.
Thank you.
Councilman Hampton?
Yes, thank you as well. I mean, it's obviously something that we don't want to happen in our community, but we're glad that you guys are there, especially for the last 30 years, to help our community and our residents. And I recently had one of my relatives actually use one of your services too, so thank you for that, and also some people from my church as well. So thank you for continuing the good work and being a part of the community, and I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Councilman Pazzillo?
Yeah, again, thank you. It's a shame that we have to have this service in our city. It's a shame society requires that, but I appreciate everything that you do. And again, thanks.
Thank you.
Anything else? Well, let's give a round of applause, okay?
Thank you, guys.
All right, now is the time for citizens who would like to address the city council on any non-agenda item within the jurisdiction of the Goodyear City. Are there any speaker cards?
Yes, Mayor. Gail Quillen.
Before you begin, the council will, this is what we can do. The council will listen to comments and may take one of the following: respond to a criticism, request that staff investigate and report on the matter, request the matter be scheduled on a future agenda, and each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. The yellow light will let you know you have 20 seconds left to speak. And before you begin to speak, identify yourself by clearly stating for the record your name and if you're a Goodyear resident. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay, my name is Gail Quillen. I'm a Goodyear resident and reside in Phase 1 of Palm Valley Estates. I'm here tonight because my husband and I attended a HOA meeting last week, and we were expressing concern over what appears to be the downgrading and upkeep of the landscaping around our area. And it seems to impact Phase 1 more than others. And I know that when Goodyear Phase 1 was built, that there was a lot of negotiation between HOA and the city of Goodyear and who's responsible for what. So it seems like the landscaping is just on a decline. If you were to drive down Thomas Road and look in one direction to Fulton Estates and look the other direction to Palm Valley, you would see a distinct difference in the image that is presented. You could have the same experience driving down Dysart Road, looking at Rancho Santa Fe from Avondale and ours in Palm Valley. So we questioned that at the last meeting, and they said that, number one, they referred us to the city because they said the city has taken over that and decided that they wanted to do sustainable landscaping, which I looked up and found out that it means that landscaping will be cut down once a year and then let the shrubs and the weeds and everything grow wild, and then, as it would be in nature, and then come back another year, cut everything down, clean it up, and let it go wild. That is a great concept if you live in Cave Creek, Sedona, the outskirts of Prescott, Dewey, any of those places that are natural areas. We are a city. Therefore, we need city types of landscaping. So I don't know who the Einstein was that decided that that would be a good idea for the city, but other than saving money, I can't think of a reason why it would be done. So I'm open to explanations from any of you.
Well, I appreciate you coming forth. It's not always easy And I know you're a citizen who loves your city and wants it to lay good. So I'm going to ask staff to investigate this and report back, sending either by phone or a letter of this explanation. And if there's anything of information that you can provide her of what we are doing in the city, it would be helpful.
Absolutely, Mayor, and I'll be sure to copy Mayor and Council on the information that we find.
All right, great.
Thank you.
So
The
thank you.
weeds are just growing. And we get letters if we have weeds in our yard, but the city doesn't get a letter, I don't think. And if they do, they don't do anything with it. So, thank you.
And if we could comment any more than what we've commented, I would do it. But we're bound by the law, so it makes us sometimes look like we don't care. But just by telling the staff, you can be assured this council cares and they will get back to you. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other cards?
Yes, Mayor. Ron Quillen?
And I suppose you listened to what time you have when I explained it, okay?
My name's Ron Quillen, and I live with her, so we're in Goodyear. My comment is on the budget. I congratulate you guys for having a good budget, but I don't congratulate you on the method of getting there. You installed the LED lights, not just on the main streets like Palm Valley Boulevard, but within the side of residential sections, which, and I'm sure all of one of you have read my emails. I can read a newsletter in my back patio. They've cut it down a little bit, and I'm working with the lighting people to cut it down a little more by putting shields on, but evidently this wasn't thought of when they had the evaluations of what the lights were going to do. You know, we don't need a Walmart parking lot in our neighborhoods. Put it out on the main streets, but don't put it in the neighborhoods in order to save money. I understand you save $200,000 a year by doing that, but that's not the way to balance the budget. And I'll follow up a little bit on the landscaping. I trimmed the bushes coming off of 133rd on the Palm Valley Boulevard because they blocked the view of the traffic. Now, I've turned this in several times. Doesn't do any good. So I go out a couple of times a year and trim the bushes down because otherwise you can't see if there's oncoming traffic. And here again, doing your sustainable landscaping doesn't work. So that's all. Just let me know what you can do about it. And I tell you what, the lighting is terrible in the neighborhood. So
Thank you very much. I'm going to turn that over to staff again to make sure that you visit the area and give them the information and kind of, I think you want to speak. Are you going to?
Well, just wanted to confirm that we do have their contact information. They listed on the card, so we will definitely get in contact.
So this is mayor is saying they will contact you in this council. Thank you. Any other cards?
No, Mayor.
Okay. So let's go to the consent agenda. Will the city clerk please read consent agenda items 2 through 6 by title only, please?
Number 2, approve the groundwater savings facility agreement with Roosevelt Irrigation District. Number 3, approve the agreement with Buckeye Water Conservation and Drainage District, BWCDD, for repair and improvements to the Bullard Wash outfall. Number 4, approve the expenditure of up to $692,600 for the purchase of red zone gear. Number 5, approve the consent to assignment of Estrella agreements. And number 6, approve the consent to assignment of Madeira agreements.
Thank you. Does anyone in the council wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? All right, then could I have a motion second to approve items 2 through 6? Do I hear that motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion from Council, was that Stipper or you, Councilman Hampton, the second from Councilman Hayno. All right, let's vote on it. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. All right, we're on to the business. And council, I'd like to remind you to wait for a motion second before discussion. The only item we have on business is the 2020 inaugural, and I'm not French, but it was called Tour de Coeur. Did that even sound close to it? Arizona 56. Our manager, Julie Karen, is presenting.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So the concept of a ride, taking advantage of the assets in the West Valley, has been talked about for many years and by a few individuals I'm sure you'll recognize, including Brian Dahlke and also Paul Dolan. But what's changed is we've now found a partner who can actually execute this vision and make it a reality for our community. So This is not proposed to be a city signature event. This would be a private event that we would welcome into our community. And because of what it will, I believe, bring to our community from a tourism and just putting Goodyear on the map, I am suggesting that we provide the ride with in-kind services. And so I'll talk a little bit more about that after, but that include public safety services, and of course our ballpark would be working with them to coordinate the event. But I'd like to turn it over to Aaron Dunn, who is with the American Diabetes Association, and he's going to talk a bit more about the vision and the proposal to bring the ride to Goodyear.
Mr. Dunn, you have the floor. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. I'm very thankful to be here to speak with you about this event and the opportunity, hopefully, that partnership could really take place here. As we stated earlier, Tour de Cure Arizona 56 on March 6, 2022 is our hope and our desire. A little bit about the ADA, if you will allow me just to talk. We are a national organization, but to give you a little highlight of our mission, it's to prevent and cure diabetes and to improve the lives of people affected by diabetes. And just a few quick stats here to know that there are approximately 34 million people in America that have been diagnosed with diabetes, and then 88 million people in America who have pre-diabetes. And so those are very high numbers. It's definitely an issue in many people and families' lives that cause serious complications, everything from heart disease, stroke, amputation. I always like to say a very special thank you for people taking the opportunity to speak with me and let me present an opportunity to highlight the mission of the American Diabetes Association. I've been in event fundraising specifically focused on endurance events like a cycle event for 15, almost 20 years now in some capacity. One of the main thing that makes this unique for me is 2 years ago, I lost my father to type 2 diabetes in less than a decade battle he had. And so every time that I come to present and come to talk about the possibilities of raising awareness, I really want to, from the bottom of my heart, express the thankfulness that I have to those that will listen to me and to take time to hear about how we can partner and make a difference. And so thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council members. And I appreciate everyone else being here also to hear this. I know that as we move forward to be able to make an impact with the mission of the American Diabetes Association coming here into this West Valley, notably Goodyear, this event would really give us an opportunity to do something very unique, not for those that are just mission-minded, but those that want to have a great experience, a weekend getaway, and to do something really fun in a really great city. What we have next is a video that I would like to show real quick, and it would just highlight some of the aspects, and you'll get to see through video the impact that we've been making through these events. After this video, I'll give you a little more detail about what this event would entail.
The 2019 Tour de Cure. This is your day.
Every 17 seconds, someone is diagnosed with diabetes. So every 17 seconds as you're riding today, you're riding for someone who's just finding out that they have diabetes.
I ride for family.
I walk for hope.
Yeah! Look at these smiles out here.
I ride because finding a cure for diabetes is my mission.
ride to help the 13 million Americans who struggle with the disease.
I walk for courage.
So that video right there just kind of highlights just one particular ride that we have each and every year. This year, rolling into 2022, we plan to do 11 rides across the United States, all taking place at different times. The Arizona Tour de Cure Arizona 56 would be our first one of the season of the year. And it is, I want to make sure we talk about Mr. Paul Dolan, who I'll talk a little bit later about how he had that vision, but he is signed on to be our honorary chair, and he is passionate about seeing this ride come to be. And then we also have Mr. Chris Hendrickson, who is executive chair, and he's the vice president of risk and litigation at Discount Tire. Discount Tire is a longtime partner of the American Diabetes Association. They currently are our signature sponsor for this year's event, and they have committed to be our sponsor for next year's event. And very excited about all the possibilities of moving this ride more further into the West Valley and be able to highlight what we have over here. The Tour de Cure at the American Diabetes Association, a little brief history about that. There's a 30-year history here. In 1991 is when the Tour de Cure, since 1991, we've raised over $500 million for the mission, 44 different states and 80 cities across the country, and over 50,000 riders have taken place in these Tour de Cures. In 2022, we have 21 planned Tour de Cures and step-out walks combined that will go across the nation. Tour de Cure Arizona 56, as I said earlier, will be the first rollout of the Tour de Cure since the pandemic struck us all. The Tour de Cure Arizona has some notable ride locations. Those ride locations would be starting at the Goodyear Ballpark, heading out to be able to take a nice view of the Estrella Mountains, going to the Phoenix Raceway. At the Phoenix Raceway, riders will be allowed to go on the track and take a ride around the track on their cycle, and then be able to get a picture with a NASCAR car, and then make their way over to Luke Air Force Base, where Luke Air Force Base would allow us to come on and have the riders go up and down the runway. Upon exiting Luke Air Force Base, they would be giving a challenge coin, a military challenge coin that would represent the fact they've rode the race here in Goodyear, Arizona, and have been on Luke Air Force Base and have been raising awareness in the fight against diabetes. Very collectible item and very unique item that they would receive. Make their way to Verado, to the Goodyear, to the White Tanks Mountains, and then back to the Goodyear Ballpark. So this ride itself is not just appealing for those that are already sold out to the mission, but it's very appealing to those that just love to ride a bike, those that love to do family things, those that want new adventures and experiences, and to see new places and do something very unique. So this ride offers and opens the doors to many different people and many different audiences to be a part of this event. Our 56-mile route, this route is inspired by the 56th Fighter Wing at Luke Air Force Base. That's why we do 56 miles. Normally, a Tour de Cure is 100 miles. When we took a look at this and known that Luke Air Force Base and many people were passionate about this, we wanted to give a salute to our military with 56-mile route for them. And again, we've gone through the different stops that you would make on that 56-mile route. For those that 56 miles might be a little too much, we do have a 20-mile route. This route is inspired by the Goodyear Ballpark. That average length of a baseball bat is around 29 inches. So a little bit of inside baseball, excuse the pun, for those that are interested in those numbers. But that's just a little play on our 29-mile route. And on that 29-mile route, you'll do everything except for go on the raceway, but you do get on Luke Air Force Base and ride those runways. Those that aren't ready to jump into the 56 or 29, we do have a family more friendly bike route, and this route is inspired by 5.6, not only being the 56 Fighter Wing, but also, as note, 5.6 is the range of a normal A1C measurement of a healthy glucose control. And this route stays fairly close and all in Goodyear. It's going to be a really fun ride. So the Tour de Cure Arizona 56, where are we today with this? So the vision of the ride, as I stated earlier, our honorary chair, Mr. Excuse me,
Paul Dolan.
thank you, Paul Dolan. I always want to say, Paul Dolan, Mr. Paul Dolan. He had this vision for this ride as he was here and hiking a lot with Mr. Brian Dalkey, and they would begin to talk and look at the different unique things that we have here in this area. And Mr. Dolan, having a ride for the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland, had a vision to be able to do something very similar here where the baseball team does spring training and take advantage of the uniqueness of the area. Through that vision of the ride, comes, thankfully, in my opinion, American Diabetes has the opportunity to meet the players and those visionaries that have this ride. And through our partnership, we've been able to come to where we feel we know we can make this ride happen. We also bring our partners here, Discount Tire, and other partners that are already dedicated to the mission of the 80-day and already are events that we do. The mapping has been looked at and been laid out by many people here in Goodyear. Also, our event production company that we are using across the nation, Tim Weber Events, is involved in the mapping and being able to put the important parts for security, important parts for traffic control, and lay out that traffic plan, which is vital to the success of this ride. And notice I do say ride and not race, because this is a ride for people to enjoy and not raced. Everybody will be a winner. We're also putting together a communication and marketing plan here, where communication across the ADA that we have across the nation, several different chapters that we will be communicating to across the nation that are already doing our Tour de Cures, have done them for years, where we would communicate to them and highlight what we're doing here in this area in Arizona to be encourage them to come and be a part of this. And then we have a strong volunteer base. Year after year, we've always brought a strong volunteer base that helps set up the ride, helps market, and helps look at the logistics and be able to help execute leading up to day of. And so we have all those plans in place currently. Arizona Tour de Cure 56, where we look at our reach. We have the national email database at the ADA. That's 2.7 million emails, 40,000 constituents receive targeted emails that will be for Tour de Cure, and then also 40,000 receive targeted texts that are about Tour de Cure as well. And participants from ADA chapters across the country, which I have mentioned, will be encouraged to form teams and to come out and be a part of this ride. The impact that we see happening, our goal would be in year one to be able to do baseline it at 1,500 plus riders, with 30% coming from outside the Phoenix area. And then we would love to grow it over the years to, by year 3, we're looking at 3,000 plus riders with a 50% outside of the Phoenix area. So we're confident that we have people from all over the United States that are interested to ride a ride to support the American Diabetes Association. And we're extremely confident of the fact that they would hear about the ballpark and all the things in the area that they can participate in on a fun weekend that they can experience here, that we would draw even more so. And so from our perspective, this is a win-win situation where we get to expand our reach and our influence and impact in the mission that we have, but then through the partnership with Goodyear and the surrounding cities, that we are able to bring people in and experience this area, this part of the valley that is growing and is doing so many great things and has so much to offer. And so we're really excited about the potential of this partnership. I want to thank you all for your time to listen. I definitely would love to answer any questions, to be able to talk further about this. Thank you all for your time. I'll hand it over to Julie.
Thank you. Julie,
Thank
do you
you.
have something before I make the
You
call?
can certainly hear his enthusiasm, and it's been a real pleasure to get to this point and having these conversations. Is there another slide? Okay. So from the city perspective, as I mentioned, there would be in-kind services that would be required to support the race. I'd like to note that this is a Sunday morning that we've picked for the date, so March 6th of 2022. Is a Sunday morning. The riders leave, at least the ones on the 56-mile course would leave about 6 o'clock 7 o'clock in the morning once the sun comes up, and they would be off the race by noon, let's say 1 o'clock at the latest. So we believe from a traffic impact standpoint, a Sunday morning will give us a good chance to, for first year, gauge what that traffic looks like and how successful we are with the plan. But as Aaron mentioned, they do this all over the country. So their advanced team that's already come in has done this, and they're experienced and will help guide us through our plan here in Goodyear. No roads would be closed. We would have all of the intersections monitored, and the path focuses on right-hand turns. So again, to minimize any potential, conflict with vehicles. We've identified our public safety in-kind services to be about $32,000, which would be absorbed in current budgets. So we're not asking for a budget transfer. We believe we can accomplish this within the resources allocated to the departments. We do have, I believe, both chiefs in addition to Bruce Kessman from the ballpark here to answer any specific questions. Oh, I should have said the game that Sunday is the Cleveland Indians / Guardians, and it starts at 4 p.m. So the concept is that any of the riders and their families, we would work to have a discount ticket program to encourage them to attend the ball game that night. And Aaron didn't mention it, but I believe there'll also be a pre-party for any of the attendees the night before. So what that means is even if someone has a team coming from, you use the example Awatuki, yes, they would likely be spending time in Goodyear and local hotels to come in the night before for the advance party and then the ride the next day and hopefully stay for a ball game. So with that, we'd be pleased to take any questions.
That's right. Any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
All right. All right, Council. Let's have a motion, a second, to support of the American Diabetes Association Tour de Cure Arizona 56 through provisions of public safety in-kind services. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion by Councilman Pizzillo, a second by Councilman Stipp. Open for council discussion. Councilman Stipp?
Rarely when we get an opportunity to hear something is an issue kind of a no-brainer. This is one of them. I think it's a really cool idea. I'm really appreciative of us being, I want to say sponsoring, but at least being a significant partner in this and making this happen for the community. So I'm fully supportive of the ride.
Arizona is such a beautiful place, and there's lots of places you could have chosen, but thank you for choosing the West Valley and being able to showcase all of our many assets. And Goodyear will be a good partner for you, and very excited to have this opportunity to host.
Campbell?
I just have a couple of questions for Julie. What is the cost for the fire services in kind?
So the public safety combined, so fire and police, would be about $32,000 is what we estimate. And that includes putting together the plan in advance to make sure we had a safe ride in addition to the day of activities.
Okay, and on the 5.6 route, I'm assuming that it's not going to go by any church that's going to disrupt their parishioners going to and from the church at the 8, 10, 11:30 hour, and especially in the 5.6 route, because it looks like it goes up close to Van Buren.
So I would need to look further into that. I don't know if you guys have looked at that.
I would love to be able to speak directly to that. I can say that I do not recall that memory right now, but I definitely would take note of that. And I think that is a very important part to bring up. And so we would definitely take a look at that and to work to adjust to accommodate churches.
Thank you. It seems that that particular route, the 5.6, goes into our residential areas.
It does.
And it does go up as far north and back south. And there are churches along the way, and we certainly don't want to.
We do not. No, we would definitely relook at that and
we appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Councilman Pizzillo?
Yeah, there's not too much more to add, except I'm in full support of it.
Thank you, sir.
Councilman Hampton?
Yeah, I think this is a great thing to do. I think, highlighting the city, bringing people from out of the area to hopefully spend the night. I really appreciate the the pre-events leading up to the ballpark event as well. Having that kind of hand in hand is great. I'd like to see even more things to do before, so people want to spend more nights here in Goodyear as well. So, and I just wanted to clarify, I saw the video, are we working up to the runs and things like that? This is just a bike ride.
This one is just a cycle ride. Yeah, there was a time where we combined runs and walks and a cycle ride. Logistically speaking and safety-wise, it is better for us to do just a cycle ride separate from a walk. That being said, I would love this to grow into not only an annual event, but possibly even do a walk one day upon this success.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. Yeah, when I did the rock and roll full marathon, they had the runners, but you can go beforehand and all the riders would go, and yeah, people riding all kinds of things. So it's good. If you already have the streets, now these aren't shut down, but that kind of event coordination already set up, you could do more, build more things into that as well. That's great for the future also. And just brings more layers of things to do, more people that might want to come and support it in different, if they don't have a bike or for whatever reason.
Good point.
So I'm very supportive of this. I love things like this, and I think it's, like Bill said, a no-brainer that, especially the bookend, our great amenity that is the ballpark as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think more things like that would be great for our city, just because it's a great time of year, and it also brings more people to our city too. So thank you for being a partner and bringing this forward.
Thank you very much.
Well, I've been part of this conversation for a long time because Mr. Dolan spoke to me about it, and of course our past city manager, Brian Dalkey. They've worked very hard to make this happen. And I have to say, without you, maybe not have happened. We need somebody who was strong in the field and that could back us on this. And it's going to be quite a feature for our city. It's going to grow. We have a number of neighborhoods that are really doing a lot of biking now. You can see them out on the weekends here and there. And even during the weekday, sometimes in the evening, you'll see them out there. So I think, and then second of all, this is very healthy for young people, okay? And we try to have different activities that keep them busy and in good shape and live longer and all that above. And I think that'll urge them, and I think it's going to end up, we're going to have a lot more recreational courses going on about biking. So get ready, division, and you're going to be busy at that. So I'm 150% for this. So I thank you for coming, and the information was very precise and helpful. I don't think we have any other questions about it. So I think if you have nothing more, we're going to vote for this. Okay, Council. We have a motion, a second. So I want to vote for it. So all in favor say yes.
Aye.
Aye, yes.
Or aye. Oppose? All right, the ayes have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, we're going to have a CF joint meeting after this, but in the regular meeting, Council, do you have any reports, requests, current events you want to talk about? Oh, Councilman Hampton?
I could probably use our app and put a work order in for this, but I just talk about landscaping. So I was jogging around Citrus, and there's some people just threw trash, like they're bagged up nicely, but it's up against where the dump or the hole of the ground is over there near Citrus, south of the freeway. And then I saw a jacuzzi over there too that needs to be picked up. A broken jacuzzi. So I should put a work order in. I don't know if this is the right format, but there's things around here. So thank you.
Any other? Okay, City Manager, you have anything you'd like to report?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to give an update of the Ballet Under the Stars event, which was held at the beautiful Estrella Lakeside Amphitheater last Friday. We had over 4,000 people in attendance. And of course, the event included the dynamic performance by Ballet Arizona, fun activities for kids provided by the Goodyear Arts and Culture Commission and WHAM, and there were 6 food trucks. The Ballet Arizona shared that the Goodyear performance had the largest audience from all other performances, and they look forward to returning next year. And I just wanted to give a big thank you to city staff from the police department, streets, sanitation, parks, recreation, and arts that all worked to make the city's signature event possible.
Well, let's give them a round of applause, everybody, okay? It was wonderful. I was there, and
It was wonderful.
it was wonderful. And to watch all the young people running around again and being up in the front and watching this, it was like magic. So
I posted a picture, Mayor, of everyone down on the stage where they were warming up, and the sun was just setting on that beautiful picture of the lake, and I have over 1,000 hits on that picture. They just think it's stunning.
it's a perfect
It
place.
was perfect location.
Yeah, absolutely. The next council meeting will be a retreat on October 18, 2021 at 5 o'clock in Goodyear. And so following this, we're going to have a CFD meeting. And so if there's no further business in this meeting, it is adjourned. I'd like to call the Joint Community Facilities District meeting to order for October 4th, 2021. This is a joint meeting of the following Community Facilities District. 1, Community Facilities General District Number 1. 2, Palm Valley Community Facilities District Number 3. 3 is Community Facilities Utilities District Number 1. 4 is Wildflower Ranch Community Facilities District. 5 is Wildflower Ranch Community Facilities District Number 2. Number 6 is Cotton Flower Community Facilities District. Number 7 is Estrella Mountain Ranch Community Facilities District. And 8 is the King Ranch Community Facilities District. 9 is Interra Community Facilities District. And 10 is Cortina Community Facilities District. Of course, Councilman Artano is not here, so I need a motion, a second to excuse her. Do I hear that motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion from Councilman Kano and a second from, is that right? You just switch it. Well, I'll do it right. I heard a motion from Councilman Campbell and a second from Councilman Kano. So we're ready to vote on this. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. All right, look at the clock. Aren't you all happy? Yeah, the consent agenda, we go to that, okay? All right.
I have no speaker cards.
Yeah, now is the time for citizens, good, who would like to address the CFD board on any non-agenda item within the jurisdiction of the board. Are there any speaker cards?
No,
All right.
Chair.
You sure? Does anyone in the audience wish to speak? All right. Will the district clerk please read consent agenda items and 2 by title only, please?
Number 1, approval of minutes. Number 2, approve the consent to assignment of Estrella agreements.
That was quick and sweet. All right. Does anyone on the board wish to remove an item from this consent agenda? All right. Can I have a motion, a second, to approve the consent agenda? Do I hear that motion?
So moved. Second.
A motion by Councilman Stiff and a second by Councilman Hampton. All in